I'll tell you what, this was definitely not on the cards for a video today, but I'm here to do a video talking about the fact that James Fisher-Harris has been granted a release from the Penrith Panthers, not for this year. Obviously, he's going to be finishing up with the Penrith Panthers this year along with Jarome Luai, but he's signed with the New Zealand Warriors. Now, the Warriors in the last couple of years, there's been all the dramas with Addin Fonua-Blake, but for the most part have been on the upward trajectory, and I predicted them to actually win the minor premiership. Not sure if that's going to happen, but they definitely haven't taken a step back from last year, and they definitely look all as good as they were last year. So they are trending pretty good. Obviously, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has come back to them, and Sean Johnson is still there, and they've got a very, very strong forward pack, led by Addin Fonua-Blake, who signed with the Sharks. And when he signed with the Sharks, it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, is this the first little chink in the armour of the Warriors? Is this the first little dilemma? I mean, the rest of the side is very, very good, but you lose a player the calibre of Addin Fonua-Blake, in my opinion, a top 5 prop. That's a huge loss, but they've just gone out and signed a top 2 prop. You can argue whether he's number 1 or number 2, but he is a top 2 prop, him and Payne Haas. But James Fisher-Harris has signed with the New Zealand Warriors for next season for 4 years. It's crazy that they lost Fonua-Blake, which is, to most other clubs, majority of the other clubs, that would be like end of the world, and then they just go and sign a guy who's even better. It's just like if the Eels lost Mitchell Moses or someone, and they just and just like, oh, who's going to replace him, and they just went and signed Nathan Cleary to replace him. That's how crazy it is. And also, it's very crazy the fact how many players the Panthers have shedded over the last couple of seasons. Just off the top of my head, Burton was like the first one. Jarome Luai this current season is leaving. Coruscant's already left. Crichton's already left. Kikau's already left. Kind of like in terms of the big dogs who have stayed and look like they're going to be staying, you've got pretty much as Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, Nathan Cleary, and Isaiah Yeo. And honestly, I thought Fisher-Harris was going to be there. I thought he was one of the core players who wouldn't leave, and they'd be able to just keep sort of chucking plays in there. But honestly, he's kind of the first guy. I mean, Jarome Luai as well. The fact that they're going to be losing him and Jarome Luai in the one season, I think is going to be huge. But mainly him. He's like the first player that I've looked at them and I'm like, that's, I don't want to say unreplaceable, but in terms of what they've got, I don't think you can't just chuck in the next guy in line. When there's centers and wingers and all that sort of stuff, you can get away with it. And they've even been able to get away with it with halves in the past. They've always had someone pretty decent to come through. But with the forwards, we've got to see the forwards. I mean, when we've seen, Kurt Capewell leave, we already got to see Scott Sorensen and, all those sort of guys. Same with like Kikau as well. You already got to see little glimpses of the guys who was going to be the replacement. And then when they signed guys from other clubs like your Luke Garners and such, we already knew Luke Garner was an okay player, just in a bad team, you know what I mean? So we knew they could sort of get away with it. Just the rest of the squad was so good that even if there was a few flaws, them as a group is going to be so strong. And that was because they had a guy like James Fisher-Harris to make all those meters. Spencer Leniu's the other one too. So they've lost Spencer Leniu and James Fisher-Harris, who you can argue they're easily like top tier props. But just Fisher-Harris is, I'm honestly shocked. I'm really shocked. I don't think anyone saw it coming. I saw like a little tweet today on X that was like, oh, big signing for the Warriors, and people were like, oh, maybe it might be a Sofa Solomon or someone like that. That's someone who I would think like, oh, maybe he's going to sign. Imagine if they signed him too. Wow, that is crazy. But James Fisher-Harris was definitely not on the cards, and the Warriors definitely premiership threats in the next couple of seasons while he's at the club. I think that's safe enough to say. Link it up with his former coach. I believe their coach came from the Panthers system as well. So I guess that's another element where like the Bulldogs have been taking all the Penrith guys and they've been linking up. And this is kind of the first one. I think Wade Egan, another one, who sort of came through the Panthers ranks. But and Tennis Lesniak, I guess, too. I don't know if they actually were coached by McFadden, but like Fisher-Harris linking back up with an old coach. So there's that. But I'm intrigued to see how much money he'd be on. But this is huge news. Like, this is straight away. I saw this and I was like, I need to do a video ASAP. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on James Fisher-Harris leaving the Panthers and going to the Warriors. Obviously, it's clear cut. Like, it's going to be, it's a great signing for them. I mean, Fonua-Blake, like, they already had a good prop. Losing him, you thought disaster, and then they go and replace him with probably the best one, apart from Payne Haas, really. But obviously, Payne Haas he's locked down with the Broncos, so that's not going to be happening. I suppose I thought bloody Fisher-Harris was locked down too with the Panthers, but I don't know, maybe we're going to see, for the first time in quite some time, I mean, all the talk of sort of the Panthers being on the downhill, but they've lost a lot of players. Taruva's been talked about leaving as well. They have not signed anybody of note in, I don't know, pretty much since this last crop came through. And then, look, let's be real, there's only so many times you can just keep chucking in the next youngster before something gives. And they've been getting away with it because the rest of the team's so good, and they've still got Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards, and they still have the core guys, but maybe this is time for them to go out and maybe splurge on a forward or two, just to sort of keep them around. Like, they might lose Fisher Harris, and they might sign they might sign us off a Solomona, a guy like that, and then maybe a back rower, and then all of a sudden they're still as good as they've ever been. I don't know, that's kind of how the Panthers are. You can never write them off, but mate, if there was ever one player to leave them that's not a Nathan Cleary, it would be Fisher Harris, who I would have serious question marks over the Panthers, and that's exactly what's happened, especially after Lemieux's left. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can't just chuck in a Eisenhuth or someone into the front row, or a Lindsay Smith, and just think that they're going to be a Fisher Harris. It isn't going to happen. So, be interesting to see how things play out for the Panthers. Jerome Luai's just left. They couldn't compete with the money that he was getting offered, and then all of a sudden they've got money now. So, I don't think there's going to be any reneging on contracts or anything like that, but yeah, it's definitely interesting times for the Panthers. Maybe Taruva can now stay. I don't really know, but yeah, just let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the Panthers, your thoughts on the Waz. Up the Waz, man. This could be it. This could be it. I already think they're a chance to win the premiership this year, let alone the next couple of seasons. So yeah, no, exciting times in the NRL for sure. The comp is so open at the moment as it is, let alone with how things are looking in the future. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how things are. But yeah, I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm just going to end it here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next one. See yous. Well, that's the end of this video. If you happen to enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. You know the drill at this point. Everybody YouTuber says it. Just go ahead and do it. It'd really help me out. Also, why not go ahead and check out some of these other videos that are on the screen right now.